What's going on, guys? Mine's here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Eve Portal companion app. To be honest, just kind of my initial thoughts on it, just straight up, I actually kind of like it. And I'll go into a little bit further detail on why. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. And let's see. So we've got the Eve Portal. So I should already be logged in here. And so the version of the app that I'm going to be showing right now is on iOS. So what we see right off the bat is after you log in and everything, so at the top we've got our character, and most importantly it's going to show us our skills. Actually the skill that is currently training right now, also the time that's remaining on it, that's quite important, as well as the alpha or omega status. So in this case my character is omega status. And then of course we got the the race banner at the along the side, so for Galante, and then of course the Eve time, and below that is actually something that should be a little bit more familiar, and we see this with the Eve client login on the PC, and that's just going to be a carousel of news, events, articles, stuff like that. Now, this next part, nope, that's not what I wanted. Back here, there we go. Clicked on the wrong one. So this next part on the bottom is I kind of have a problem with this part. So what's below the carousel is your most recent mail. All right. Which is fine and dandy. I'm not really all that into following my game mail, primarily because I do a lot of industry, I do a lot of hauling, and so I am a part of the haulers channel and that mailing distribution list. And I don't really care to get that kind of stuff, outside the game. So at the very top you have the personal wallet. Now this is, I love this piece. However, the fact that you have the two little buttons at the top that says recent and unread right above the wallet, and then directly below the wallet is where your mail starts. That I think that's kind of one of the downfalls of the UI. I love the way it looks. It looks very streamlined, but if I had to critique it and make one small little change, I would make that one horizontal bar, for the Z ISK personal wallet, make it stand out a little bit away from the rest of the bars scrolling. So other than that, I don't have any problems with that. I like the app so far. So moving on, we've got skills. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is just going to show you the current queues, what's currently queued in your training queue. Yeah, redundant. And as well as skill browser. So this is going to be similar to what you would do in game, browsing your skills or the available skills that you can train. Now, moving back over to the training queue, some unique things about this that I will point out. So you have the option to pause your training. Would you like to pause your queue? No, I don't want to pause it. That was just by hitting that training button up there, the blue one. Now, this is actually only available to do as Omega. Now, you can still see your skill queue. However, you can't manipulate it. You can't pause it. You can't start it, stop it. You can't move things around. So, if you notice right here at the top, right below the time, you see hold the drag to drag and drop and reorder. So you can do exactly that. You can place it anywhere you need if you want to rearrange it. And then, you can move it to the side to delete. I actually kind of like that. I don't know why, but I don't think I'd ever see myself rearranging my skill queue. Maybe if, yeah, I don't know. Because, you get pretty deep into some of these where it's like 11 days, 21 days, 14 days. Chances are, if you're that deep into skill training, you're more than likely going to already kind of have a plan, unless you're just kind of building a character for skill points. I don't know. That's kind of debatable. But one of the cool features about this, so let's just say, you get down to, a few skills left, and you want to kind of come in here and I'll just do fleet support. You want to add something. So this is a cool feature. Again, this is only for Omega, not Alpha. On the Alpha version, if you have an Alpha character, you can browse the skill browser. So you can look at the skills that you currently have and see what you can do with them. However, you can't do this. You have some other features as an Omega. Once you drill down to these skills, you can, so armored command. So if I wanted to add armored to the front, to the end, or I can apply my skill points if I have any available. So really cool feature. Another really good one, and I did test this out the other day, the buy and inject. So you can purchase skills and inject them from the mobile app. I think that's actually a quite a unique feature. I actually really kind of like it. I used it the other day just to see if it worked. It was something that I was needing to train for anyway. It was the accounting and margin trading. Bought both of them, injected both of them, added both of them to my queue. It worked out flawlessly. Actually, just worked the way it intended to work. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, it's works really well. And yeah, anyway, moving on. Next thing on our menu down here is the store, New Eden New Eden store. Some of this does take a little bit to load, especially if you start scrolling through some of these other ones, super capitals. Of course, it's going to load a lot faster now. We'll just say it's cached, right? You can buy skins, you can buy, well, whatever it is you buy in the store. Apparel, stuff like that you'll never see. Moving on. No, I guess the most important thing is you can buy plaques, right? So next tab is the mail button. Self-explanatory, right? Inbox, sent, corporation mail, alliance mail. You can write mail. My only complaint about this is I don't think it actually checks for the proper name of the character. I don't really send too much mail. I normally play solo, but for the most part, I don't think it does. I did try to send some mail to my other character, and I couldn't get it to populate the name, even if I tried to spell it wrong, to see if it would kind of be like, oh wait, there's this character with this name. It's close enough. Did you really want to send it to them? I didn't get that far, so. Well, I mean, at least it didn't show up for me. So I'm assuming it doesn't autocomplete. All right. So moving on over to, so you can switch characters. I don't have my other character loaded here. Let's see. You can add a character. Click it. You can log in. Stuff like that. Character sheet. So I'm, as you can see in the screen behind, I'm in my Orca. That's exactly where this is. My race is Galante. It's just basically character sheet, right? Nothing more, nothing less. Your home station. I don't really see why that's relevant. Waste of a line, in my opinion. Seer jump clones and implants and your mapping, which I find is really nice. A really nice feature that I would think would be pretty cool would be possibly being able to remap your characters on here, at least an Omega character. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's definitely not needed, but I think it's cool. All right, last thing on here. Actually, I actually haven't checked out the calendar, but we'll check that out. But I think the bread and butter of this app, aside from the skills, is the wallet. And I say that because there was most recently an update to the application for an improved ISK wallet. So let's take a look at that. So as you can see here, we have your wallet, we have the current amount of ISK on this character, and the amount of Plex on this character. And we've got some tabs here, ISK, Market, and Plex. Not really sure why there's a need for a Plex tab. I mean, anyway, I guess if you want to track when you bought Plex, maybe. I don't know how much you saw get out of that. Market, I guess we're kind of going backwards here. Market, you can. So red is your deficit. It's what you bought at market. I think here I was kind of playing around with some mining laser upgrades. Green, I think it was some stuff that I sold. Like I bought some Plex. Other stuff like that. So I don't know, how far does this go back? There's no date. Oh yeah, there is a date. So the 10th. Go to the bottom. Oh, okay. So it'll load more. Show details. Okay, so showing details. I actually just kind of noticed that, but showing detail will, I guess, show everything underneath that date. So the client, I guess, who you bought it from, if that's relevant, I guess where you bought it. Yep. Okay. So yeah, detail, I guess, is the same thing if you click on it. So the ISK, this part is the bread and butter, I guess, of the update. So ISK is some of this I really don't understand. Player donation, that I do understand. I was transferring some money to my current corporation. Bounty prizes, obviously, belt ratting, escrow from market transactions, stuff like that. See, detail doesn't really show too much on that. But anyway, this little icon down here, the little circle with the little pie chart looking thing, if you hit that, this is where it gets a little interesting. So this is a breakdown of, I guess, how you spend your money. So if you think way back, like 10 or 15 years ago when Discover Card started saying, hey, guess what? If you use our card, we'll break down where you spend your money. So, you Starbucks coffee-loving people can see how often you spend $200 a month at Starbucks. I don't spend that. I make my own coffee. But anyway, I'm just saying, there's people out there that do that. So here it tells you, in my case, I spend, 90% of my money, my income, 99.04 of my income comes from the market. That makes sense because I do a lot of mining, I do a lot of industry, so I sell directly to the market. Makes a lot of sense. We have escrow. This is in the last 30 days. Insurance. Don't look at that, guys. Please don't blow up my ships because I don't have insurance. Intent. Reprocessing tax. You won't see that with me because I have my own corporation. I'm not going to charge myself. Project Discovery reward. I thought that was kind of interesting that they would track that, but it is kind of its own little piece of income, I guess. Bounty prizes, that's kind of interesting as well. I think I'd like to track that. My two biggest things I think I am going to be tracking is, definitely I think escrow, I think that goes into tax. But bounty prizes, I don't do a lot of belt riding and combat sites, but, I do get bored, so I do run them. But the expenses I think is actually kind of interesting. So in the last 30 days I spent 292 million ISK in market escrow. So transaction tax 23 million, brokerage fees 20 million, planetary construction, planetary tax. That, if you're really looking to min-max, I guess, your industry and where your ISK is, I guess ISK management, this might be the way to go. Again, I think by now they've already added these features into the in-game wallet, which I haven't played around too much with, and I think the only difference that I've noticed between this and the in-game is, so you can't, you don't see me tapping my thumb, but you can't drill down. I can't click on market a transaction and see more detail of that. Whereas the in-game wallet, you can drill down a little bit more into where your money is actually going with those market transactions and escrow and bounty prizes, stuff like that. So I think this is really interesting. I will definitely be using it. Oh, like I said, there's one piece in here that is different that I've noticed, and it is the date range. The in-game ISK wallet has the same features. I have yet to find the ability to change it outside of the default 30 days, which is kind of bothersome to me because I do like to do, the last day. I like to know more specifically last day to last 7 days. Actually, I would even like to be able to do a varying date range between, current and, the last 30 days. So, somewhere in between, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5, 7, stuff like that. Kind of like how the mining ledger works a little bit, how you can drag that ribbon around. So, outside of that, I really don't have too many complaints. I think I only really had 2 or 3, but I think if I had a suggestion, maybe on some things to add, really it's only 2. The project discovery. I don't know too many people that actually do too much of the project discovery. I think it's kind of more like I'm, let's just say I'm hanging out in the market or I'm busy mining. It's kind of a time killer. And I think that piece would be absolutely perfect for mobile. Not only does, CCP also, kind of get what they want out of that small little side project of the game, but in return, you can do it, when you're traveling, when you're out at dinner with your family, commuting, stuff like that, downtime, watching Netflix, whatever, sitting on your couch where, it's not convenient for you to bring your laptop and play Eve. You can do project discovery on your phone through the mobile app. I think that would be really good. I think that would be a really great addition. The other one, I think, it's of course still really new, would be possibly integrating the HyperNet feature into the mobile app. I think that would be pretty cool. The other one would kind of go along with the HyperNet, but being able to, actually look through the database, Eve's database, market database, and, even if it's not looking at market data, but the database in general, if I want to look up a cruiser and I want to see what the fittings are, on the go, I've done that. I know a lot of people have done that. I'm pretty sure you've done that. yeah, you want to look at fits. You want to look at just kind of get a refresher on the Atron, right? But yeah, no, those are my only my three wishes that this app has right now. It's young, and it looks like it's here to stay. So hopefully we get the updates, as the game progresses. With the wallet and the HyperNet, I think those are going to be tightly coupled. I think they're pretty cool. I haven't tried out the HyperNet yet, but for the most part, looking at the app, I think it's a really great choice. Go ahead and download it. It's available on iOS and Google Play Store. I actually have it on both. It works perfectly fine. And yeah, other than that, guys, what do you think? You like the app? Don't like the app? What features would you like to see? What are your complaints? What do you like about it? So other than that, guys, that's really all I got for you. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Play safe.